All right, fans, welcome to another edition of From the Dog's Mouth. We're kind of on the road with these, and we've had a few Bulldogs on here in the past couple of weeks, but we got one of the most famous Bulldogs in history. Some say one of the better running backs that ever come through Mississippi State. We have Dicenzo Miller on with us today. Dicenzo, man, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm blessed. How y'all doing?
We're doing awesome.
Doing great, man. Glad to have you on here. Just don't take off running, score no touchdowns while we're on the show now.
No, hey, I'm sitting in my truck, relaxing. I'm good.
All right, so I'm gonna just start off. We're gonna kind of make it our Walking Dead question, or just say our Black Dog Sports Podcast question. Why did you? How did you become a Bulldog? Just talk about that process from coming to Mississippi State.
Oh man, it was a hard process. I think at that time everybody figured between State and Ole Miss, but I had other schools, Illinois, Texas, Florida. Some of them started dropping off because they thought I wasn't gonna qualify, and it was basically a three-man race. Illinois, State, and Ole Miss, and it came down to being close to home, and especially with the Egg Bowl rivalry, somebody had tried to take an edge, but I felt closer to home being at Mississippi State. Had teammates that was already up there, Dennis McKinley and Alvin, so that was kind of a big deal. So, being close to home and being around my family could be at games was a big deal.
Okay, so you come to Mississippi State. Talk about that transition to the college game. Obviously, Ware is a smaller school. I don't know if y'all were 1A or 2A at the time. Talk about that transition to the college game, and what is a lot of people doubt whether or not you could translate to the college game, given the fact that you were coming from a small Mississippi school.
Well, little small town of Ware, now the school is not open anymore. But at that time, we was a 1A school, and people considered us a little powerhouse, a small version of South Panola at that time. So for me, a lot of people really thought I was too small. Matter of fact, even my own town even thought I was too small to be playing the SEC. I still remember a conversation. One of my baseball coach, he kind of like, man, you're not big enough for SEC. And I'm like, really? I'm like, you gonna sit here and tell me that? And that really motivated me. And when I was getting recruited, Ole Miss showed me I remember Ole Miss had showed me a film of John Avery, and I'm like, hell, I'm bigger than John Avery. John Avery was about 5'10", about 185. I was right at that mark, so I knew I could play, and so I kind of just used that as a motivation to get there. Now, when I got there, I was like, man, I got introduced very well by Ed Smith. Now, I still remember this day. I pass rush, doing blocking, and I'm thinking at that time, I like, he gonna take it easy on me. Man, he bull rushed me all on my back, and all I remember was Ed told me, "Welcome to the SEC, partner." I like, oh shoot, I gotta get in this weight room
Quick.
big time, quick. But once that took place, and I started holding up my own against Ed Smith, Cornell Menifee, Alvin McKinley, Bear Simpson, and all them, I had confidence I can play the game. So if I can go against one of the best guys on defense at Mississippi State with one of the best defense in the country, playing against somebody else will be easy.
Now, your freshman year, Mississippi State already had a bell cow running back in James Johnson. So talk about, stepping into the role that you played, because you were the second team running back. So you did get a chance to play a lot as a true freshman. So talk about just playing behind James Johnson, and what did you learn from him? Because as you see, he became one of the top running backs in Mississippi State history, and you got a chance to play and learn from him.
Man, I saw this guy on he was like one of my hosts on my visit to be 6'2", 6'3", At that time he was about 240 solid. And then when I reported in, this joker is still 6'3", about 225, rock solid, almost 0% body fat. I was like, I don't know how he did it, but I'm finna figure out some way. And his work ethic was unbelievable. And people don't know, JJ probably one of the best basketball players I probably seen as a football player. And we had some guys at Mississippi State that can play some basketball, but JJ was one of the guys I was like, man, he can do it all. And so watching him pound folks, run folks over, and use his agility, I was like, man, I asked him questions every day. He showed me the ropes, and I wasn't gonna run nobody over like he was doing because my frame wasn't built for that. So, with him, it was just like, I still remember we played Memphis, and he ran a power, and he ran Mike McKenzie, who played with the Green Bay Packers for years, and ran him over, and he never missed stride for 75 yards for a touchdown. I'm like, oh my God, what have we got here at Mississippi State? And playing behind him, it was a lot of pressure, but I took it as no pressure because I knew I wasn't no J.J. Johnson. So it was fun. The game I learned from him is the vision, seeing things before it happened, and after that when I strive to be better, try to do the things he did, but I guess everything speaks for itself.
All right, I guess you went from a guy like J.J. Johnson your freshman year to your sophomore year. You come in, you were kind of in a rotation with another guy that kind of came in as, I guess, one of the top running backs in the country, and Dante Walker. Just talk about just your first impressions of Dante coming in. I know a guy like that coming in, there's a lot of talk because he's so hyped. So what was like your first impression with Dante kind of coming in the picture?
Well, I kind of knew, as a freshman, every year they gonna bring another guy in. So for me, I met Dante, and I was like, okay, nice guy. Hey, Dante got his own little swagger, and so I kind of took on the role of, don't matter who they bring in, I gotta do what I gotta do. And I knew, the big talk was, he played at Clinton, the 5A school at that time, parade All-American. And, people, they were looking for him to be the dog, the big dog. So I took on my role. All I could do was control what I do. And so everything I did was go work, get better, be ready for games on Saturday. So, to the day, I know a lot of people talk about you should have more carries, but I don't think I control what I can do. And if I got 5 carries in one game, I'm gonna make the best of them 5 carries. If I got 20, I'm gonna make the best out of them 20. So at that point, I was just worrying about when I get my chance on the field, make it happen.
Now, with Dante coming in, what a lot of former players have told me is that Dante was good, but with Dante coming in, they shifted Pig Prather over the defense. And from understanding, we never got a chance to see Pig Prather, the running back, and that might have been something to see. So would you do you agree with what they say as far as like Pig Prather could have been pretty special at the running back position? They allowed him to stay there?
Oh, yes. We played, matter of fact, me and Pig played against each other in high school for our last 2 years. And Pig could tell you, I beat him both games. So, but yes, Pig was special. But you got to think about, our freshman class had 3 tailbacks. Me, Pig, and Justin Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
So and to me, the sleeper of the group was Justin. Now, Justin was a dog. That was my roommate. I loved him to death. Hey, he was a dog. And he especially showed his coming out, and he got red shirted his freshman year of setting the record for receiving for a running back. Now, in open field, he's hard to bring down because he gonna bring the load. And that's another guy that people really don't talk about because he was special.
Yes, he
Justin
was.
was special.
I
And
mean,
it showed when he played with the Falcons and played with the Raiders, and man, he did his thing.
Yeah,
But
y'all
like
brought up
Pig,
Pig. Y'all brought
who
up
you-
Pig, man. We all graduated at the same time, and I played with Mars Point, of course, and we were, pretty decent. 5A state champ coming off his 5A season, and our coaches used to put billboard material up for the games. I'm talking about down in Mars Point, Mississippi. Dicenzo Miller, Eddie Prather, and Freddie Miller was always in the paper, all the way down here in Mars Point, man. So I didn't know that you all played against each other, but like I said, I knew those names. They were in the paper like every week in our newspaper.
yeah, because like in high school and when in the playoffs, we always faced them. I remember our sophomore year, we played for the North half against them. We beat them like 22-13. Pig, he was playing safety. He was trying to hit me, but I ain't let him. I really never let him give him a chance to hit me. He'll tell you that now. And now his brother, Bradley, he put me on WTVA News for the hit of the week. And as a sophomore, I was 5'10", about 5'9", about 160. Pig brother was 6'3", 230, playing free safety. And he was a quarterback. And he was a quarterback too, playing free safety. And I shook Pig cousin, and all I know, he hit me on the numbers, and I was landed out of bounds. And I promise you, during the rest of that game, I would dodge him. Every time he see me, I got on the ground.
You helped develop your game, huh?
like never again.
Hey, I promise you, hey, he brought that lumber to me. I was like, nope. Now that one game, the high school coach gave it to me almost 38 times, and at 36, I'm dodging.
Oh, he hit you early in the game.
Oh, he hit me early. And the first thing I get back to school on Monday, Coach Gant put the highlight on everybody on the TV in front of everybody and said, look at Cenzo getting hit. The whole school. I was like, well, I was on the news. I was on the wrong side of it, but
Yeah.
it was fun though. But playing Pig, we played against each other our junior year for the second round of the playoff, and at that time, me and him was really neck and neck in yardage because we always keep up with each other. We talk. We would say, what you had this week? And so I told him that week, you would not get over 50 yards this game. He's like, man, you confident in your defense? I said, yep, because I'm playing free safe, and I'll make sure I'm not letting you get past me. But he didn't get a chance to come back there to me because we had him like, I think, 36 yards, and, we ended up beating him like 32-6. And it was one of my funnest games because me and him talked the whole game. I'm talking about from pre-game to even after the game. We were still talking. And that's why I knew then when he got to state, I said, boy, we finna have some fun in this backfield. Because you get that Pig get to the outside, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I know he was returning kicks early too at state.
Yeah. And so, man, it was fun. Now, I let him have a return game. I was good at return, but I got fired.
Because Pig was a big running back.
Yes, and that was the thing about it. When you got JJ, your workhorse, then you got Chris Rainey in there. You got me, Pig, Justin. Then you had Rod Gibson, Dennis McKinley, Kenny Wilson. Man, it was a loaded backfield. I'm talking about we were probably 3 deep, from 3 to 4 deep at tailback and fullback, and everybody was a dog. That was a special thing about playing that state. When you got dogs in that backfield with you, you better bring your A game every day, or they gonna let you know about it.
Let me ask you this, man. I was there when you were there, of course, and I saw you play. Who started the flip and shimmy? You or Don Lee?
I don't even know what
It started.
They don't,
It started.
they don't
with,
even know what it
It
is.
started with JJ. It started with JJ.
He was doing it?
Yes. The shimmy. Well, he was doing the spin with the ball.
Yeah, y'all flip the ball and then y'all do this number right here. Yeah, what's that all about?
Well, we I started that. Don Lee gonna tell you he did, but I started. It was just something. Me and him were really talking about it. We was like, man, we gotta do something. We gotta do something every game. I said, man, I'm gonna come with shimmy. He's like, man, you ain't gonna do it no game. I said, okay.
He said, you
started
sound just
doing it.
like Don Lee.
Hey, I promise. I said, Don Lee, you ain't gonna do that, boy. I'm telling you, I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna tell you the funniest story. I was going in my senior year, and you know, before the season started, they always have the referees with the celebration.
Right.
And I be dog. They sat there and said, we got two guys in here that they like to do I guess they call it the little shimmy. And the first picture they showed, me and Don Lee. Y'all cannot do this no more. Me and Don Lee looked at each other. Well, shit, we finna get 15-yard penalty.
Every time.
Coach Sherrill finna get. Hey, man, like Coach Sherrill said, do y'all have a name for it? We said we call it the 1A shuffle. So
both of y'all 1A ball players.
1A ball player. So guess what? We never got flagged, and we kept doing it.
Yeah, I know any big play, any touchdown, it was coming.
Oh yeah, it was coming.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, as a coach now, when I see my son do it, I be wanting to tell as a coach, I be saying, boy, you better not. I'm like, never mind. I said, never mind. I had to go back and think about what I did.
He just keep the legacy alive. That's all.
I promise. But a lot of the kids that I coach, they're like, Coach, you used to do all this stuff. Why you fussing at us? I said, I ain't gonna fuss at you no more. I said, I apologize.
Yeah, it's kind of different when we put that other hat on. It's kind of different. Yeah.
I promise. For me, it's special because most of the kids that I coach, they go back and they sit there and say, Coach, man, I heard you won all that. I said, go. All I heard say, go to YouTube. That's all you gotta do. Go to YouTube. Shoot, by the next day, Coach, you was that dog. I said, I ain't gotta speak for stuff. And then, you know, it don't never get old. And they be like, man, do y'all know y'all coach was a dog? It's like, we know. We just found out. I had kids still now like, Coach, I ain't know you played. I said, I don't talk about it. I don't have to talk about it.
Yeah,
let the video speak for itself.
Hard for people to believe. They don't realize you one of the best to come through. It's people that still talk about how good you are. That's strange, but new generation, I guess.
Here's a question though. Like, go ahead, Dicenzo.
Like the thing is though, I'm teaching my youngest boy, and named Dicenzo Jr. That he's a sophomore right now, and he's every bit of. It's a shame that when I watch his highlights and stuff, he is every bit of me. And I'll be trying to, hey, son, you can't do this. And then I go back. When I do tell him that, I said, Dicenzo, you can't tell this boy this. You were doing the same thing. And I'm like, well, I said, son, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing.
So he's a running back too?
He's in the 10th grade?
He's just in the 10th grade.
Didn't he start over there in Choctaw?
Yeah, he was number 18.
Yeah, I remember.
My older son, he was number. I had my older son, he was number 50. He played deep tackle. He just graduated. So, and he's about, as of right now, he is bigger than me right now as a sophomore.
Yeah,
I mean,
he looked
right now. He's about 180.
Yeah, physically, you wouldn't think he was a sophomore. That's why I was like, what? Because I was at the game when they played Knoxville in the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
So people really think like he's a sophomore. I'm like, yeah. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah. He said,
so your older son.
Like,
So your older son that just graduated, where did he go? Where is he going to college at?
He's gonna go to school at Gulf Coast. Just going to school. Yeah, he
Is he
want to
gonna?
get away. I think he done got it. He got into fishing and stuff now, so you know.
Oh, is he
he
gonna play
just-
ball at JUCO?
As a student.
No, I think he might, but I'm not forcing it on him. I think he would have got a lot of offers because of his height. He just short, so he just gonna go to school. And I told him, you know, that's one thing a lot of people don't understand. I don't like my boys. I don't force nothing on them.
Right.
They love the game, but they know at one point if they can't play the game, they gotta go do something. And, you know, going to school. I think he's gonna try to get into construction. So I'm just proud that he's going to school.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, talk about. I mean, you. I think you just made a transition until talking about when football is over. Let the viewers know. What was your opportunities as far as the NFL goes, and how did that work out for you, or what happened with that?
Well, coming out, it was at that time I don't know. It was crazy. You know, I had second guess. I should have came out my junior year, and I wanted to stay back. You know, I had an injured player season, but I'll be honest with you, I thought I had a great year with my injury. Still had like over 800-yard rushing. So, you know, things happen. You know, for a reason. I got a chance to go to Tampa Bay. Not Tampa Bay started off. I went to Tennessee first. Being in the locker room with, you know, Eddie Joe, a guy that I idolized. Steve McNair, one of the greatest ever to come out of Mississippi to me. Because people didn't realize I started as a quarterback, and my idol was Steve McNair.
So did you let him know so did y'all kind of have any talks about, you know, your Mississippi connections, being that you were there with McNair?
Oh yeah. And one thing about it, very humble guy that I like, dude, I idolize you, man. He said, really? I like, yeah, man. I was L3, man. I'm telling you, I was L3 in junior high. He said, man, you crazy. So I was just, you know, and getting to talk to Eddie George, who laid back and work. I was like, man, I'm sitting in here in this locker room with these two guys that I idolize. I'm like, wow. And, you know, things didn't turn out, but one of the funniest things I ever did to this day, I was sitting there talking to Neil O'Donnell, and that he was the backup, and one time he was starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
And I was my big mouth. I said, Neil O'Donnell, I said, man, my mama still mad at you for throwing that damn Super Bowl. Man,
against the Cowboys.
Yeah, and Steve,
He threw that pick to Larry Brown.
Man, them son gonna laugh so hard. I said, man, I ain't mean it like that, but Neil O'Donnell, he was cool. He like, man, I heard that before. He said, man, ain't nothing new. I said, man, I'm sorry. And I felt kind of bad. Steve was like, oh, you know, you can't say that. I said, man, my bad. I was like, I told me be freely be open. Like, something you just don't say, man. You should have told me first. I said, oh, my bad. But that's probably one of the funniest things. And then, you know, when it came down to it, me and a guy named John Simon that I loved dear was my roommate at the time, for them to we had to flip a coin. We had to flip a coin to see who stayed.
Wow.
So we was neck and neck. I'm talking about we was doing everything, and I lucked up and got the worst end of the draw. But you know, they was good to me, and I got a chance to get with Tampa Bay, play under Gruden for that summer. Man, that might be one of my funnest and most difficult times in football. What I mean, like that playbook there, the big old binder you have in school, the biggest binder, man, I promise you had to know every lineman assignment, every receiver, every spot, that running back could be at any spot. Man, I had my take risk taped up my wrist from my wrist to my damn elbow with plays just for me to remember. And man, being around guys like Warren Sapp, Derrick Brooks. Now I got hit by Derrick Brooks. Man, that might be the worst hit I ever took in my life. Coming from Derrick, the Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Running inside, we were doing inside drill, and I thought I was in the clear, and next thing you know, my head hit the ground. I came out nowhere. I'm like, who hit me? I looked up. I saw Derrick Brooks. I was like, oh. Shoot. Oh, my chest hurting.
I don't want to backtrack too much, but go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's rewind back to your sophomore year, because up until the 2014 season, your sophomore season was the year our Bulldogs went to the SEC championship game. That was our heyday season. That was the greatest football season in our lives as far as Bulldog fans. So let's talk about that season. You know, it was a four pair backfield. Let's talk about that season and get into the cusp of winning an SEC championship.
Man, my freshman sophomore year probably was the two best years of just smash mouth, play action, and a defense that you got. Them 2 years right there, almost you probably had almost just on the defensive side, almost 10 guys that played in the league, and that's very impressive. You know, especially with the D line we had. Oh my God, you get some other class by defensive line. I wouldn't go against these bunch of guys. Dorsett Davis, Ellis Williams, Alvin McKinley. I'm talking about you. Man, then you got one of the best linebackers, Baron Simpson. Then you got Ed on the edge. Then you got Kevin Sluter. I'm like, I can go on then at corner, Bean, smooth. Hey, enough said right there.
So you don't subscribe to the theory. You know, a lot of people say that 18 defense might have been stronger than the 99 defense. So you think that's an argument?
I'm a argue with that all day. I'm gonna go against. I can't go against the defense I had because I had to go against that every day. I had to go against that every day, and that I hated that. I just it's harder to compare the 18 teams if they don't go through the same scheme. If they go through the same scheme, I can see it. And 18 defense was good. I'm not gonna take no disrespect that, but I'm gonna ride with my boys in 98 and 99.
That 99 defense was so exciting because you didn't know who was gonna make a play. Anybody on that team was making plays. I mean, like people out of the bench was making plays. I mean, you had, like I said, Ed Smith, one of my favorite defenders. Matter of fact, he has my favorite sack of all time, coming across the edge, putting his numbers, helping the QB numbers. I mean, you bringing back memories from me because, like, you know, that season, you know what I'm saying, for a Bulldog fan, you know, Jeremiah don't know nothing about that. You know, he's young. He don't know nothing about that.
I was in high school when that happened. So I was in high school. I remember when that happened.
You know, so watching that happen and just every weekend, you know, Mississippi State gonna win. Mississippi State gonna win. We on the way. You know what I'm saying? And just seeing everything on that field, and a couple of guys I played against in high school. You know, like I felt part of them because, like I said, I played against Dante. You know what I'm saying? Ellis Williams. I got a story about Ellis Williams. We was watching film one day. And Ellis Williams ran into an ambulance. And the ambulance started shaking, and he just got up and just kept going. And just like wasn't nothing wrong. He put the fear of us. We do not want to run into that guy right there. And he transitioned into Mississippi State, and man, he was the man, you know.
Where did you play?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I went to school at Callaway.
Oh, what Chargers?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
all y'all was scared. Okay, what you about to say?
you
Son?
know,
man. But I'm gonna tell you about that year though. It was crazy though. Didn't matter how much we was down. We had a way of finding a way to win.
yep, the year to come back.
And the thing about it was we struggle on offense, but the defense always made a play somewhere. The special team come through, and then when it's time for the offense to make a play at the end, we found ways to win ball games. That was very special about that year. That we found ways to win ball games. Never failed. It can be 1 minute left. Oh, we're gonna find a way to win. And
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
The elbow was the key right there.
That elbow was my first game. That's how I ended up coming to Mississippi State, because of that game. The kick and the kick pick and then the kick. That's how I ended up. I was at that. That was my first game, and I ended up coming to state. But look at this: 2 minute drill. We down. We got to score to win. You got Wayne Mackin, you got Kevin Fent, and you got the other boy, Maroon Wyatt. Yeah. Who your quarterback? I put you on the spot. On the spot.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Matt and Wayne, I had confidence in because both of them won us ball games.
Mm-hmm.
Them two. I love Kevin Fent, but we didn't have a chance to do that when he was at quarterback.
Right.
But Matt,
he said we didn't have a chance.
My senior year, we didn't have a chance. We was getting my senior year, we were getting drilled.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll get into that later. And so that's a hard question because they were two different quarterbacks. Matt sit in that pocket. Hey, he gonna dissect it. Wayne, hey, aka Chris Rock,
right.
he found ways to make plays. And so if you had said just them two, I'll probably plead the fifth.
Okay.
But I gotta take them two in that 2 out of 3.
I got it. It makes sense. It makes sense.
It makes sense because I can't go wrong with either one of them.
Yeah, it was almost interchangeable.
All right.
Exactly. And that's the great thing about them 2 years. We had 2 quarterbacks, one struggling, put the other one in, make some plays.
Yeah.
It was just one of them times that it was hard. You never seen that in college, but at that time it worked for us.
So I want to, I guess, moving ahead to your junior year, you talked about how the first 2 years was awesome as far as from a winning standpoint. The junior year, y'all did win, and honestly, well, you and Dante, even though you kind of became considered one of the better Mississippi State running backs in your own right, you and Dante kind of formed one of the dynamic duo, that particular year. So talk about just being that trade-off where it was kind of an odd thing. It wasn't like y'all rotated within the series. It was kind of you had a series, he had a series. So talk about how the coaches kind of came to the decision kind of to split y'all in that way.
Well, we knew after our sophomore year going in the spring that we both got a chance to do something special. So it really wasn't. We knew, but I think a lot of folks kind of how both of them gonna manage when they in there. And we had competition with each other. We were like, hey dog, if you don't get this amount of yards, I'm gonna talk about you like a dog. So we were competing with each other. So if one guy scored, the next guy got like, oh, I got to score because I don't want to hear this joker mouth in film session. So, especially like the Florida game, we both went off that next week, and we both can chill. Now we can just say, hey, now let's move to next week. So it was fun because we both knew what we brought to the table. Like Dante was that power, and he can take it to the house. I was that. I ain't gonna say slow. I was that glider. There was the inside runner that I pretty much can run any plays. So I just, hey, when I get loose, I get loose. You know. So I always tell them, I say, if I inside anything under 50 yards, I'm gone.
Well, okay, you said that. You gotta put us on the field. Put us on the field. Run. I think it was a screen or something.
Oh, the BYU.
I think you made like 11 people miss and scored a touchdown. Put us on the field with you on that play.
It was I think it was like third and 15, and I ran a little shoot route into the flat, and I was the last resort. So he gave it to me, and I was like, I gotta make something happen. And everybody on the team knows one person really wasn't gonna bring me down. And so, man, I just kept making guys miss, spinning, and once I got past that last one, I started running. Man, it seemed like it took me forever to get there. And going back and watch film, you can see Fairchild from a distance gaining on me. He going straight line. I'm going across the field. I'm like, man, I know this man ain't finna catch me. And
so if y'all ain't seen it, y'all gotta YouTube. It's kind of grainy. The video kind of grainy,
yeah.
But you gotta YouTube Dicenzo Miller and BYU. You'll see that run. Okay, here we go. It's real grainy, but you can kind of dissect it.
And man, that seemed like that was 78 yards, but it seemed like 278.
Well, the commentator said he goes down after about a 5-yard gain, and he was like, "Wait a minute, he's still running."
I'm gonna tell you what's the funniest thing that happened after that play. Now we in BYU, you know the altitude and all that. I'm tired. I need some oxygen. So Coach Sherrill, we got the oxygen tank over here. The oxygen tank did not work. It didn't work.
After
man, I got sick. All that. I got sick. I'm like, man, I got to go to the locker room. Man, I went in the locker room. I was throwing up. I was using the bathroom. And I missed the whole second quarter. And when they came in the locker room at halftime, my helmet in one area, shoulder pads in one area, pants in another area. I'm butt naked in the floor.
Ugh.
Laid out. Laid out.
So that altitude is a real thing.
Man, it's a real thing. Coach, all I remember Coach Sherrill said, "Son, what the hell wrong with you?" I said, "Coach, the air." He said, "Okay, hey, get ready for the second half." I'm like, man.
All right. So we kind of just played a quick little clip. I already had some stuff prepared, or all of us had something prepared, some clips, and just get your thoughts after reliving these moments from that 2000 season. All right. So this first clip is from the Alabama game. Game I think you had 3 touchdowns in.
Yeah. This might be this one you want to see the shimmy shake. See the shimmy.
So tell us, man, like, how was that? Like, you done scored 3 touchdowns. Alabama wasn't Alabama at that time, but about emotions of a big game like that as a running back.
Man, that was one of probably one of my top games, because Alabama is Alabama. Even though they're on that down year, but Alabama was one of the top programs in the SEC. So for me to have 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown was big. You know, that was one of, I think during that time I was going on that stretch of having like 6 straight 100-yard games, and man, it was just one of them times that I was rolling and had a great line that was was paving the way.
Yeah, I come from against Florida. I remember that. That was a very memorable game. Florida was
Oh
Florida
yeah.
at the time.
Oh yeah.
So
I was at this game.
Now that don't seem slow to me. Outrunning a Florida defense.
Hey, but did you see it was under 50 yards though? It was under 50 yards. So that was 44, so you see. But man, that game right there probably one of the best game and it's still probably top 5 in school history when they were number 3. Cause especially with us coming off a tough loss to South Carolina. And
it hurt.
If I'm not mistaken, we was like a 28-point underdog and beat the brakes off of them.
I think it was packed just because it was Florida. I don't think it was packed because we thought we was about to win.
Right.
I think it was packed because it was Florida, and then we start looking like, wait a minute, what is going on here, dude? And
did the Florida players kind of have that persona about themselves that we are Florida, like they just kind of coming in and talking trash like that?
Well, they did, but some of the guys I knew, and we talked all the time, so it was a big deal. So it was for us. I think they came in there, they knew they were gonna win, but then when we started hitting them in the mouth, and they didn't realize that how good we were.
Oh yeah.
And the final clip, kind of the end of that season, obviously the game that everybody always talks about. I mean, you didn't score the TV on this play, but just that Independence Bowl from Wayne Mack.
Man, that was big.
Coach taking off the headset.
Hey, I tell you what, that might be one of the funnest game I ever played in. The snow. And what's crazy about that game, we pregame warm up, it just snow flurries started coming down. So we like, okay. And then we getting dressed and we open the door up. We saw all this snow. We like, what the hell? What the hell going on out here? I'm like, in 15 minutes, this field already covered up.
Cool.
And so me and Dante, I told Dante, I said, man, you better not wear no sleeves. He's like, man, I'm cold. I said, man, I ain't wearing no sleeves. I said, I'm taking my tights off, my socks. I'm going out there like a dog. And man, I wasn't cold. I said, man, I ain't cold. I was at one point at halftime, but man, a lot of my teammates like, man, you crazy. I said, I know. And so, man, that was fun. That was the funnest game. And be honest with you, I think if it was dry, if that field was dry,
wouldn't have been close.
It would never been close. Like for me, I think it was great. It fit Dante's style, downhill running, and that's why he had a great game. And Toon had a great game because that was his style. But it kind of neutralized me. Now if it was dry, it would been 0-30.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine because matter of fact, I didn't mention this earlier, but our senior year, y'all played in state.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all played the game for us, actually. And that game was so cold. It wasn't even. I can't imagine playing 2-inch snow. You know what I'm saying? It was so cold for me. You know, coming from the coast. I brought me some gloves, and he was like, "The gloves still wet." I said, "I don't care. Give me the gloves now." And that's how cold and we had sleeves, tights, everything. But just to go out there in some freaking snow, and it was still snowing while y'all playing too, right?
Oh yeah, it was. And man, that probably about the funnest thing. That's something that you always dream about, playing in snow. And you were like, oh, this Mississippi ain't gonna snow. Shoot, that time it did, and it was fun. But we won it. That was the best thing about it. We won that game. But if we had a host, I'd been pissed.
I would have been miserable. Yeah.
I don't play no snow. Shoot, nah. But that year, man, it was fun. Like that junior year, a lot of people didn't know when we played LSU. I was in the hospital that whole week. I was in the hospital the whole week. I'm gonna tell you, I still remember that it was a Monday. We just got out of practice. Got out of study hall, and I just went home. And I'm thinking like my stomach was hurting. Man, I'm like, man, my stomach hurting. I was like, okay, let's try to go to the bathroom. Yeah, that didn't work. I was like, man, this ain't good. So I had 3 stages I went through. I went through the mama stage, crying to mama. Mama, I'm hurting. Mama, I'm hurting. Oh, mama. I said, call Coach Davis. I called Coach Davis. I said, Coach, man, I'm hurting bad, Coach. Coach, I ain't feeling it. He said, call Mr. Mark. Call Mr. Mark. Mr. Mark. I had to be Mr. Mark. Man, I'm in pain. He said, drive to the facility. Can you drive? He said, yeah, I think so. Man, I'm balled up on the steering wheel, getting there. So he hit me right below my stomach with the appendix. And he hit that right there, and I started hollering. He said, oh, shit, we got to go to the hospital. And, he would think it was my appendix. So we get to the hospital, and they started doing tests and stuff. And so they brought out this long needle. I'm like, man, I'm good. I'm good. And they hit me right back in that spot. I got to holler. I said, oh, my God. But it ended up being I had a bad virus and a bad case of gas that could have killed me.
Oh, boy. Killer gas.
I promise. I'm like, but that was the best. I promise that was the best week of practice. I was in the hospital. But what was crazy, this was crazy. Coach Sherrill came and see me that Tuesday after practice. And he said, son, you good? He said, Coach, I'm getting better. He said, good. I'm bringing you all the practice film you need to watch up in here. I'm like, Coach,
Coach Sherrill to get you ready.
He said, you going to play. I ain't telling nobody nothing. So the people in the hospital didn't know really. That's how crazy it was. They didn't really know who I was. Because I ain't have no Mississippi State stuff on, no nothing. So one of the nurses coming up like, hold on, you the Dicenzo, right? I'm like, yeah. Oh, we going to take care of you. That's when I get ready to start eating
good hospital food.
Solid food. Man, they're like, order what you want. I'm like, really? You going to let a joker like me that like to eat say, you can order out, it's on us. Boy, that when they had wings on in Starving.
Okay. Yep.
Man, I ordered.
Y'all used to work at Wing Zone, bruh.
I had ordered wings for Applebee's. I ordered 100 ranch wings at Wing Zone. Man, I went to town. Man, they should never ever told me that.
I don't know if you've been to an NCAA violation.
Hey, it's too late now. It's too late.
Well, guess
Coach Sherrill get in no more trouble.
Guess what though? Coach Sherrill didn't never get in no trouble because he got off of it. Matter of fact, he won the case.
He did.
Took him about 20 years, but literally, but he finally got out.
Exactly.
Now, Dicenzo.
I'm gonna tell you this: that week of the game, that Friday was the funniest thing. So they set me up going out the hospital in a wheelchair. And they said, Dicenzo, where's your chance of playing? I'm like, 60-40 not playing. But the whole time I was playing. So we get to the hotel. I got Kurt Herbstreit and Lee Corso trying to interview me. I'm eating a big bag of Skittles.
Beast mode before beast mode.
And they were sitting there like, I thought you were sick. I am, but you eat Skittles. I can eat candy. I'm just snacking. And so, going to that game, and the biggest story, the funniest stories was my mama was telling me. She comes to the game. She got one of my cotton, one of my jersey on, and LSU fans were like, "Miss Miller, we're so sorry about Dicenzo. We heard he passed." And she's like, "My baby didn't pass." They're like, "Huh? Is he sick?" He said, "Yeah, he was sick." She's like, "Well, he was a special guy, and we appreciate everything he did for Mississippi State. He one of the guys we were worrying about." And soon they got through talking, I ran out the tunnel, and they were cussing. I thought that MF wasn't playing. And that's probably one of my best games. And I remember that same guy that was talking to my mama came to me after the game like, "Man, I respect you for everything you do. You played, you left it out on the field." And that was probably one of my proudest moments. Just another fan that stayed after the game to tell me that. So that was pretty cool.
Now, Dicenzo, I have one more clip, and it's probably going to be from a game that you're going to remember well, that any Bulldog fan is going to remember well. And you scored a touchdown on it, but it was depending on who you scored it against. So talk to me about this game here.
Must have been an Oxford game. Yep, there we go. Oh, who threw him the ball, though? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Don't kill fan. Don't kill fan.
Mars Point Finest.
That was my dog, and he just caught at the bad time of playing at state at that point.
Oh yeah. Hey, can you make it bigger, Derek?
You want me to play it again?
We can't see it that good. It's cut off.
Hold on.
Oh, that was that big about a screen.
My bad.
Hey, but you see, it was a 48-yarder. It was over 50 yards. You see what happened, right?
And they
caught me. Hey. A lot of people used to say, "Man, you were slow." I said, "Man, I was fast enough to get the job done."
Right.
Make it a little bigger. It still can't.
Just close one tab, Derek. That's all you gotta do. Just close one tab.
It ain't letting me do right. It's oh well, you gotta do it like that.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about that Egg Bowl game there. Talk about that game, because that was a game that you all came back and won. So talk about that Egg Bowl game.
Man, that game, the year before we had lost the Egg Bowl that year, and down my senior year, I kind of told the team at that point, I'm like, "Look, I don't mind losing. I hate losing. We done lost it, but this is one game that I cannot lose. Just cannot." And man, I tell you what, I guess I know the team respond because, man, we started out slow, but man, we played, and the end of year 3. In my career, 3-1 against them was pretty special.
You end up catching a touchdown pass from Fant, to put the Bulldogs on top, and I don't think we were behind anymore in that game, so that was a crucial touchdown that you caught.
Yeah, it was, man. That year right there was a trying time in my career. Playing at Ware, I ain't never had a losing season. I probably lost one game from 7th grade to 12th grade at Ware, and then to have a 2-7 record at that point, man, stressed out. I could have either man, forget this. I'm gonna prepare myself for the draft, but I had too many kids that looked up to me and they want to see how you respond in adversity, and then I think that game was a proof of my, I guess say my legacy
right.
of never up and just play for your team and do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah, I got to correct
might be
myself.
my last question. You
That
just
brought us back to 14-12 in that game, but it was a crucial touchdown because it gave us some needed momentum to come back against Ole Miss.
But you talking about never giving up and all that kind of stuff, man. And then you talk about you could have left early. Me and Mario Hagan, we were pretty cool back when we were in school. And so I talked to Mario after he said he was coming back. And I'm like, because after his junior year, I mean, around campus, we thought Mario was out. And so with y'all two being, high profile as you guys were, did y'all ever talk about that kind of decision together, or was it an individual thing? Because I know both of y'all were like junior year. Yeah, both of y'all could have dipped. But, both of y'all came back. And like you said, that year was kind of trying. So did y'all ever discuss that, or was it individually?
Well, me and him, I always talk, because before our roommate with Justin, Mario was my roommate. And he got red-shirted my freshman year. So he was like, so we always talked about it. And, we both were like, man, we can finish what we started. And, and that the NFL gonna be there. So it was kind of a deal that I felt that I needed to come back because I had more to prove. But, that year for me, it didn't turn out like I wanted. But it was, I guess I'm probably gonna say that was God playing, because getting hurt, that was frustrating. 9/11 happened during that time. That threw it back. So, to get hurt, have a high ankle sprain, play with the rest of the season with a high ankle sprain and a torn MCL on the same leg was tough. But
so that's why you was wrapped up like a. That's why you was wrapped up like a sandwich every game.
I promise you, on that left leg. That's when I started. That's when I started fattening myself too, just to make sure nobody didn't. So, had that knee brace on. Had I was a bonnet robot.
So, what do you think, just from your eye? Like, we just had Steve Robertson. We interviewed him earlier on the day. His interview, we're gonna. I guess we did both of them on the same day. We're gonna post them at different times. But Steve, at that time, he kind of comment that lives in infamy. He predicted y'all make it to the Rose Bowl that year, but obviously that didn't happen. So, like, what do you think went wrong that year, as far as just from a player standpoint, like that you see that the team was projected to be top 15 and then end up only winning 3 games?
I think a lot of it, to me at that point, I think when 9/11 happened, I think it kind of set it back a little bit, but we just couldn't get over the hump. We was in every game, we just couldn't finish it. There's only one game we definitely wasn't gonna win, was the LSU game. They beat the dog out of them. But that when they had Joe had
that Rohan David?
Rohan David, quarterback, Josh Reed, then they had
Marcus Spears, I think.
Yeah, Trey Falk at linebacker. Oh, they was legit. Ryan Clark. It was just we couldn't never get over the hump. And and we played well, but we just didn't make the plays enough to win the ball game. Like, for me, that the LSU game was one of my best games as a all-purpose. I had like 200, like over 200 all-purpose yards, but we didn't score no points. Then we had a lot of injuries. Justin had hurt his neck, had season-ending surgery that year. And we had a lot of guys that hurt. I was hurt. I was out by 2 games. So, it was trying time when you lose key players to injuries and had to play young guys early, didn't have to, it shows.
All right, so I guess we kind of talked about your career, and we already kind of talked about that transition to the NFL, and maybe that didn't work out the best. But now you're a coach. Talk about like how long did it take you to start getting into coaching, or did you do some other stuff before you decided to do that?
Well, I already had a plan in high school. If I didn't play in the NFL, that my goal was to get back in coaching. So when I transitioned out, when I got cut from Tampa Bay, I had moved to Ohio, and I just started working and doing stuff. And I got a call from Coach Davis, who's still the head coach at Colin. He like called me like, Coach, do you want to come back and coach? I'm like, yeah, Coach. If you serious about it, I'll get in my Mustang and head back home. And he was like, yes, I'm dead serious. So I moved back. That was 2008, around 2006, somewhere around now. And, you know, I coached receiver. I did volunteer coaching at Colin from there. So it was fun. It was different, but I knew the game well enough that I can translate it to some kids that around my age at that time. So when I did that, I did running backs, and I ended up doing receivers. I left Colin. My first high school job was at J.C. George. I got a chance to call some plays at an early age. You know, the head coach at that time was the student coach at WOW my senior year. So he knew me very well. He knew about the game. So it was fun. I love it. You know, my goal in life always help young men, even I coach basketball, women, to be better people. Not better, also better players, but better people. So, you know, me being in coaching for that long, man, I love it. Especially get a chance to, with my kids, I got a chance to watch them. Not get to really, I coached them in junior high some, but I didn't get to coach them the last couple of years. But helping kids, man, is a rewarding thing.
How's it kind of having a chance? I don't know how long ago you came to Louisville, getting a chance to coach Coach Miller there at Louisville.
Oh man, I came to Louisville around 2016. I just had left from J.C. George, man. Being around Coach Miller, I know what's name know. Coach Miller's a different character. I'm telling you, Coach Miller is old school. Look at her paper. Look at him. I go out here and play smash mouth football. And being around him it was fun. And the kids play. And his defense is one defense that a lot of people hate. And it's just like, okay, you already know it's gonna be man coverage, a safety over top. You're gonna have five D linemen, you're gonna have them linebackers. You don't know where they coming from. And so me being on the offensive side of the ball, it kind of helped us play against other people running other different schemes. And so, you know, for him, his last year in 2018, you know, the winter state championship, man, it was for him the ride to the sunset it was pretty sweet.
Well, I know with Coach Miller, I know another friend of mine, Reggie Harris. I guess y'all was on the Mississippi State team together, and he coached Coach Miller. He's from Knoxville, yeah. So he always told me about he was one of his defensive coaches, and he talked about Coach Miller just had a knack for knowing how to get the most out of players, and he kind of told me a story about Omar Conover first coming along, and how Omar was a freshman, but he didn't probably understand a whole lot, but he was a baller. I mean, I was a freshman at the same time in high school. And I remember seeing all the highlights, but I didn't know the backstory that Omar probably didn't know the playbook, didn't know a lot, but Coach Miller, knew he was good, so he made sure, that part of it was taken care of so Omar can kind of go out there and ball out. So did you see a lot of that while you were coaching with Coach Miller during those years?
Oh, yeah. Oh, on the defensive side, he that's one thing. He get the best out of you. And then when he come over there, he's like, Coach, we got to get these jokers going. Get them going, Coach. He said, I ain't got to come over here and tell you what to do. You don't do. And so from him to tell me that, I was like, okay, he want me to get stuff started. So, he knew the kind of juice that I bring And he like, go do what you gotta do. I want you to go get the guy ready. So, he's about you ready. And he tell you, like his pregame speech, man, y'all know who we playing? The kids say, yeah, who we playing? He said, good. We're going to kick their tail.
I bet you didn't say that.
I just said a clean version.
All right, I said I bet you.
I just said a clean version. Now, the other version, we're going to have what they motherfucker ass. But, man, Miller was one that a lot of people didn't understand. They think he was real quiet and laid back. Well, that joker is feisty. And when the kids see how feisty he was, they were like, okay, we got to play like that. We got to play feisty. So that way he brought to the table.
Coach Mills was something serious. I'm being from the Knoxville area myself. It's kind of like I kind of grew up. He always bounced in between for understand because he was Knoxville coach. My parents were in school, and then he would go to Louisville and come back. And so, it's started. He has a pretty rich coaching history between, and then Knoxville and Louisville rivalry, which is kind of shocking that he kind of can bounce back and forth considering that those people pretty much hate each other. So.
Yeah, and the thing.
Well, he's from Louisville.
Yeah, I know. My barber is his cousin, so.
But I don't think it was hate. I think it was more both schools, both towns had a lot of respect for each other, and they wanted to outdo each other. And that one probably one of the best rivalries. I've been part of them 4 years and finally won one. And just see the how the city for that game, and it was never. The 4 years I've been there, it was always sold out. It was packed every time.
And the year y'all won, I was on the other side. That was a pretty darn good game.
Yeah, and the last two, pretty much the last three games, it always came down. It was crazy. Knoxville go up 3 touchdowns, and then Louisville come back. Knoxville win by 6. Knoxville win by 3. So it was always one of them games that you might jump up early, but you better make sure you try to finish it.
Gotta play 4 quarters.
Got to play 4 quarters. So that rivalry, if people didn't know that rivalry, I didn't know about it until I got into it, but shoot, big respect.
So, Dicenzo, of course, you had a great Mississippi State career, and then now you've successfully been able to become a pretty successful high school football coach. What would be something like, I guess, just kind of that you want fans kind of to remember about you as a Bulldog player? There's a lot of running backs that's come since you. We've had Booby Dixon, or we had Vic Ballard, or
Allen.
Sure. Aries Williams. We've had a lot of guys. We're not going to get into the Colin Hill thing today. What would you want Bulldog fans to remember about you, that the newer Bulldog fans, the ones that are probably 25 and under, that probably don't quite understand the player that you were?
Man, a blue-collar worker that did whatever it takes to win. A lot of guys don't realize I really wasn't no vocal guy. You look at me now as a coach, how vocal I am now. I was quiet. I'm probably the quietest one. I wasn't no Fred Smoot. They're gonna let you have it. But I was like the guy. I was the guy like, man, I'm gonna go work. And when I spoke, you will listen. They be like, dang, Cenzo talking? You don't say nothing. But I just went out by action, and I'm not the type. Everybody probably that know me, I don't talk about myself. I don't brag. I just let everybody else do that. The funniest thing now, especially on Facebook, is people around my hometown. They sitting there who the top skilled player at where, or who the best player at where. I don't never get into it, but I sit there and read it, and I be dog. I always be one. And I let my action, let my film speak for itself. Like some of the kids today, they're like, Coach, I want to see some of your film. Send me some of your highlight high school and college tape. I let them take it home and watch it, and they were like, okay, Coach, we respect you now. So, everything I did was, for, make other folks better and make my team better. Everything for me, everything else took care of itself. All I was about the team. So if anything the one thing they knew about me, I was a team player and wanted things best for the university. And to go back to games and stuff and get recognized just being in the stands, that's gratifying for me.
And I just want to thank you again for just joining us today. It was pretty cool reliving even myself as a Bulldog fan. I was in high school at the time and just kind of reliving a lot of those famous plays that, we see it from a fan's eye, but then you telling us just the story from BYU and just some of those moments. Like, I appreciate you coming in and being able to share those stories. So thank you again for coming.
I'm gonna let me say this. It's crazy that, we're doing this because every year it always come up. All the videos come back up, and the kids that's in high school, they were like, "Coach, that ain't you. Look at you now. You got a big face." I'm like, "Son, I was rocked up back then." They said, "Where is it?" I said, "It's hidden." It's hidden. You know what I'm saying? So, to be almost, it's going to be 20 years since my senior year, and still be ranked as top back in Mississippi State here, it's a blessing.
Yes, indeed. Whenever football season does get started, man, we're gonna have to get you to come on and break down some games with us, man, and talk some football with us, man.
Man, anytime. Hey, just let me know. I'll try to break it down best I can.
All right. Thank you again, Dicenzo, for coming on the show. Guys, you've been listening to From the Dog's Mouth, just a segment that we have. We interview former Bulldogs and sometimes reporters, and we just talk about their stories, their careers, and kind of give you some insights of what they were thinking on some of these big moments that we kind of see from afar. All right, Derek.
So we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you comment, share, follow, listen to all the episodes of the Black Dog Sports Podcast because we have some good content. Peace out. We out of here.
Hell State, go Tigers.
Hell State. I don't know what I'm going to do now.